Hey y'all, welcome back to the chair. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Destiny. I am the owner of Classically Modern Interiors, and this is a space where we slow things down a bit, talk design, and get intentional about the spaces that we live in. Today's topic is going to be space planning. So for those of you who are just buying a new home or already in the space and thinking about buying new furniture before you make a big purchase, this video is for you. It's going to help you out a lot. That being said, let's talk about the three main design principles when it comes to space planning. So number one, we're going to talk about the importance of measuring your space before you purchase your furniture. Secondly, once you've measured your space and purchased your furniture, how to arrange the furniture so that you can maximize your space and the functionality of the room. And then thirdly, we're going to talk about intentionally mixing materials so that your home feels layered, luxurious, and timeless. So let's talk measurements, because this is where most people go wrong. Before you buy any furniture, it's important to understand your space, not just the size of the room, but how you're going to move around the room. So we're going to start by measuring the length and the width of the room, the ceiling height. We're going to measure the windows, the doorways, any architectural features in the room. This is highly important because your furniture needs to work with your space, not against it. And so if you have, say you have a sofa that's too big, it's going to overwhelm the entire room. I know a lot of people are really into like massive sectionals right now, which I get because they're really comfortable, but just make sure that your space allows for that. Or maybe think about getting a modular sofa that you can grow into over time. Maybe now you have a small space that this huge sofa won't fit in, but if you get a modular, then whenever you move somewhere where you do have more space, then you can add pieces to it. If you have a rug that's too small, it's going to make the room feel disconnected. We always want something on the floor to anchor all the furniture. And then let's say you have something blocking a doorway or a pathway that should naturally you should be able to walk through. It's going to make your home feel extremely cramped. So my rule of thumb is to leave breathing room. Clear your walkways, give yourself some visual balance, and make sure that the proportions of the furniture are right so that your home feels elevated and balanced and cohesive. So now we can move on to furniture placement. Once you've chosen the right pieces, we want to avoid just pushing everything against the wall. Instead, we need to create a function and a flow for the room. So first we want to think about our anchor pieces, which are basically going to be the largest piece of furniture or the main piece of furniture in each individual room. So for example, you have your sofa in the living room, you have a bed in the bedroom, a dining table in the dining room. So once we figure out where we want those placed, we'll build around that. Okay, then we're going to ask ourselves, how do we want to move around the space? Where are people naturally going to gather? Is that going to be around a fireplace, a window, a sofa? Once we figure that out, then we can begin to create our zones. So for example, in a living room, if your space allows for it, some don't, mine doesn't. I had to push my sofa up against the wall. But if your space is large enough, try to float your sofa because it will make your room feel more open. Use rugs to create that sitting zone. And then always remember to leave at least 30 to 36 inches of space for walkways where you want people to be able to move around the furniture. Just one rule of thumb is if the furniture in the space doesn't serve a function or it doesn't serve the flow of the room, it's just taking up space and it's going to make your space feel more cluttered. Again, and always, the goal is to make our rooms feel intentional, functional, luxurious, cozy. Okay, yay, we're finally to the fun part that everybody likes to talk about, which is aesthetics, the mixing of materials. So us as designers, whenever we're choosing to make a space feel luxurious, we don't do that by making everything matchy matchy. Instead, we ensure that we're creating a contrast and a depth to the room. So, for example, if you have a structured sofa, you're going to want to throw, um, a soft throw blanket on there, and some y'all know that I love leather. I talked about it in the last video. So leather pillows, boucle pillows, whatever soft material fits the season at the time. Linen during the summer, like we talked about last video as well. If you have warm woods, you're gonna want to contrast that with hard stones or metals. You also want to ensure that you're contrasting your colors. My style, which is, the modern classic cozy, I say the smartest thing to do is always stick with, again, neutral tones, even when it comes to your marble bowls, your vases. Let's stick with blacks, creams, whites. That way, these items, sometimes they can get pricey. And if they are, they can follow you through the years and through your different styles. And if you want to do themes for your room, these items can follow you through that. But at the end of the day, our goal is to make your space feel curated and intentional and beautiful and luxurious. And so I think to finish that off, on top of those materials, the very last touch is always to add, your matte metals and your brass or silver, mixing metals and mattes together, adding a little bit of sheen into the space, just really, really tops it off and makes your home feel so cozy and luxurious. So when we measure properly, arrange our furniture intentionally, and pick our materials thoughtfully, our homes don't just feel better, they function better. Design isn't about trends, it's about our lifestyle and how we live. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been following my videos and sharing them. I hope that the information that you found in here was useful. Sorry if I bored you with the technicalities of measuring and placing your furniture, but this is how us designers come up with these beautiful cohesive designs that make your homes feel luxurious and give you a space that you never need a vacation from. So I'll see you in the next one. Pull up a chair and get ready to talk about design and decor.